Do you know the answer? Think you're the smartest person in the room? Let's put that to the test. Today, we have 20 challenging trivia questions, plus one impossible bonus at the very end. Before we start, smash that like button and subscribe to join our trivia community. It really helps the channel. Rules are simple. You get a few seconds for each answer. Keep track of your score and be honest, no cheating. Are you ready to boost your brain power? Question number 1. Ever wondered why your ATM PIN is exactly 4 digits long? Why did inventor John Shepard Barron settle on a 4-digit code? First, was it because of early technical limits? Second, was it a bank security requirement? Third, maybe because of small screen sizes? Or fourth, was it simply his wife's memory? Correct answer, it was actually his wife's memory. The inventor originally wanted a 6-digit PIN for better security, but when he tested it on his wife Caroline, she told him she could only remember 4 numbers. To make things easier for her, he changed the standard for the entire world. So every time you use an ATM, you're using a system designed around one woman's memory. Question 2. We all know he's Sherlock's right-hand man, but what was Dr. Watson's actual medical specialty? First, was he a simple dentist? Second, maybe a skilled surgeon? Third, was he an army doctor? Or fourth, a psychiatrist? Correct answer, he was an army doctor. In the original stories by Arthur Conan Doyle, John Watson earned his medical degree from the University of London and then served as an assistant surgeon in the British Army. He was actually deployed to Afghanistan and was wounded at the Battle of Maiwand. It was only after being discharged due to his injuries that he returned to London, met Sherlock Holmes, and began their famous partnership. His military discipline is exactly why he could handle Sherlock's chaotic lifestyle. Question 3. Which country's products were the very first to require a mandatory Made In label? First, was it Russia? Second, could it be the USA? Third, was it Germany? Or fourth, was it China? Correct answer, believe it or not, it was Germany. It sounds crazy today, but in the late 19th century, Made in Germany was actually intended as a mark of shame. Great Britain introduced the law in 1887 to protect its market from cheap and inferior German copies. They wanted to warn consumers to buy British instead, but the plan backfired. German quality improved so fast that the label quickly became a world-famous symbol of excellence and reliability. Talk about a plot twist! Question 4. Standards of beauty have changed a lot over the centuries. What was considered the ultimate look for women in late medieval Europe? First, was it sun-kissed tanned skin? Second, long dark eyelashes? Third, an exceptionally high forehead? Or fourth, very full plump lips? The answer is a high forehead. In the 14th and 15th centuries, a large, smooth forehead was a sign of intelligence and noble status. To get the look, women would actually pluck their hairlines back by several inches. They often removed their eyebrows and eyelashes too, just to make the forehead look even more prominent. It's one of the most unique beauty trends in history. Question 5. We all picture knights in shining armor, but which country actually invented the knightly tournament? First, England. Second, Spain. Third, Germany. Or fourth, France? Correct answer. The birthplace was France. While they became popular all over Europe, the earliest recorded rules for a tournament were written by a French baron named Geoffroy de Prilly in the 11th century. In fact, for a long time, tournaments were so closely associated with the French that they were often called Gallicus Conflictus, or French combat. These weren't just games, they were high-stakes training sessions for war, where the winners could get rich by ransoming the horses and armor of the losers. Question 6. In psychology, what do you call the phenomenon where a victim unexpectedly develops sympathy for their captor? First, is it Munchausen syndrome? Second, Jerusalem syndrome? Third, maybe Adele syndrome? Or fourth, Stockholm syndrome? Correct answer, it's Stockholm Syndrome. The term was coined after a 1973 bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden. 4 hostages were held for 6 days in a bank vault, but something strange happened. They began to defend their captors and even refused to testify against them in court. One hostage later even got engaged to one of the criminals. Psychologists believe this is a survival strategy where the brain tries to bond with the threat to stay safe. It's a fascinating look at how the human mind handles extreme stress. Question 7. We use it every single day, but Google didn't always have that famous name. What was the search engine originally called? First, was it Backrub? Second, could it be Linkmaster? Third, was it Yahoo? Or fourth, simply web search? Correct answer. The original name was Backrub. In 1996, Larry Page and Sergey Brin called their search engine Backrub because the technology was specifically designed to analyze the backlinks to understand how important a website was. It stayed that way for over a year before they decided they needed something that sounded a bit more professional. They eventually chose Google, a play on the mathematical term Google, which is the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. Imagine saying, "Let me backrub that for you today." Question 8. It's time to choose. In the movie The Matrix, what color is the pill Neo takes to wake up and see the truth? First, was it the blue pill? Second, the green pill? Third, was it the red pill? Or fourth, the yellow pill? Correct answer, he takes the red pill. In this iconic scene, Morpheus offers Neo a choice. Take the blue pill and return to his ordinary simulated life, or take the red pill to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Interestingly, the concept of the red pill has since moved far beyond the movie, becoming a massive cultural symbol for waking up to a hidden reality. The filmmakers actually chose the colors to represent the contrast between cold, safe stability, blue, and dangerous, fiery truth, red. Question 9. It's famous for its vibrant red color and tart flavor, but do you know what hibiscus tea, also known as karkade, is actually made from? First, is it dried pomegranate peel? Second, is it roselle flowers? Third, maybe it's ginger root? Or fourth, is it made from rose hips? Correct answer, it's made from roselle flowers. Specifically, the tea is made from the calices of the hibiscus sabdarifa plant, often called the Sudan rose. This super drink was a favorite of the Egyptian pharaohs, who used it to cool down in the desert heat. It's naturally caffeine-free and packed with more antioxidants than many green teas. While it tastes a bit like cranberry, it has nothing to do with pomegranates. It's 100% floral power. Question 10. We see it in every Olympics, but which iconic figure skating element is actually named after the Norwegian skater who first performed it? First, is it the Lutz? Second, maybe the toe loop? Third, is it the axle? Or fourth, the flip? The answer is the axle. The jump is named after Axel Paulsen, a Norwegian speed skater and figure skater who first performed it in 1882, while wearing speed skates. The axel is considered the most difficult jump in figure skating because it's the only one with a forward takeoff. This means the skater has to complete an extra half rotation in the air to land backward. Even today, landing a triple or quadruple axel is the ultimate test of a skater's skill. Question 11. You might have heard this word in the news lately, but do you know what it actually means? What is a synonym for the word nepotism? First, is it laziness? Second, is it bribery? Third, is it unemployment? Or fourth, is it favoritism? The answer is favoritism. The word comes from the Italian nepotismo, based on the Latin word for nephew. It started centuries ago when high-ranking officials would give powerful jobs to their nephews or family members, regardless of their actual talent. Today, it's a common term for when someone in power helps out their friends or family, often called cronyism as well. Question 12. You might have heard this expression in a movie or a book. What does the idiom "to burn the midnight oil" actually mean? First, is it a way to say you're wasting fuel? Second, does it mean to work late into the night? Third, is it a term for being very angry? Or fourth, does it mean to literally start a fire? The answer is to work late into the night. This phrase dates back to the time before electricity. If you wanted to keep reading or writing after sunset, you literally had to burn oil in your lamp. Because lamp oil was expensive, burning the midnight oil became synonymous with intense study or hard work. Even though we have light bulbs now, we still use the phrase to describe anyone putting in those extra hours after dark. Question 13. You've probably heard of a Big Mac, but do you know what the Big Mac Index actually measures? First, is it used for currency valuation and purchasing power? Second, does it reflect a country's inflation rate? Third, is it a measure of a population's obesity levels? Or fourth, does it show average fast food wages? Correct answer, it's used for currency valuation. Invented by The Economist in 1986, this index is a lighthearted way to see if currencies are at their correct level. It's based on the theory of purchasing power parity. Since a Big Mac is pretty much the same everywhere in the world, its price should, in theory, be the same when converted to dollars. If a Big Mac is way cheaper in one country than another, it suggests that country's currency is undervalued. It's the world's most delicious economic indicator. Question 14. It is one of the most famous lines in the history of the English language, but which Shakespearean character actually says, "to be or not to be"? First, is it the ambitious Macbeth? Second, is it the young lover Romeo? Third, is it the Prince of Denmark Hamlet? Or fourth, is it the tragic King Lear? The answer is Hamlet. In this famous soliloquy, Prince Hamlet is contemplating life, death, and the pain of existence. Interestingly, in the original 1603 first quarto version of the play, the line was actually printed as, "to be or not to be." Hey, there's the point. It was only in later versions that it became the "to be or not to be," that is the question, that we all know and quote today. Question 15. It's spicy, it's fermented, and it's taking the world by storm. But do you know which national cuisine kimchi actually belongs to? First, is it Japanese? Second, could it be Chinese? Third, is it Korean? Or fourth, is it Mexican? The answer is Korean. Kimchi is the heart and soul of Korean food. It's so important that Korea has a special kimjang season, where families gather to make huge batches for the winter. There are actually over 200 different varieties, made from everything from cabbage to radish. It's even gone into space. The first Korean astronaut took a special space-safe version of kimchi with him to the International Space Station, so he wouldn't get homesick. Question 16. This high-security prison is located on a cold, foggy island in the middle of San Francisco Bay. What was its famous nickname? First, was it Sing Sing? Second, was it Alcatraz? Third, is it Rikers Island? Or fourth, Guantanamo? Correct answer? It's Alcatraz. Alcatraz was designed to hold the prisoners who caused trouble at other federal prisons, including the infamous Al Capone. It was considered escape-proof because of the freezing water and deadly currents of the bay. In its 29 years of operation, the prison claimed that no inmate ever successfully escaped, though 3 men did disappear into the water in 1962 and were never found. To this day, it remains one of the most mysterious places in America. Question 17. In the sport of clay pigeon shooting, athletes have to hit a fast-moving target. But what are they actually aiming at? First, is it special clay discs? Second, are they shooting at silhouettes? Third, is it glass bottles? Or fourth, colorful balloons? The answer is clay discs. The sport gets its name because, back in the day, people used to shoot at actual live pigeons released from cages. As you can imagine, that wasn't very animal-friendly. In the late 1800s, the sport switched to these saucer-shaped clay targets. Today, they aren't even made of clay anymore. Most are made from a mixture of chalk and pitch, so they shatter perfectly when hit. It's all the challenge of the hunt with none of the harm. Question 18. If someone tells you not to spill the beans, what exactly are they asking you to avoid doing? First, are they talking about cooking a meal? Second, does it mean to make a physical mess? Third, is it to reveal a secret? Or fourth, does it mean to lose money? Correct answer? It means to reveal a secret. The origin of this phrase might go all the way back to ancient Greece. Some historians believe that Greeks used beans to vote in secret societies. A white bean meant yes, and a black bean meant no. The beans were kept in a jar, so no one knew the results until they were counted. If someone accidentally knocked the jar over and spilled the beans, the secret vote was revealed way too early. So when you share a secret today, you're basically knocking over an ancient voting jar. Question 19. We're heading into space for this one. In which decade did a human being first set foot on the surface of the moon? First, was it the 1950s? Second, the 1960s? Third, was it the 1970s? Or fourth, the 1980s? Correct answer? It was the 1960s. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed the Apollo 11 lunar module. Armstrong became the first human to walk on the moon, famously saying it was one small step for man, but a giant leap for mankind. Interestingly, the computer that guided them to the lunar surface had less processing power than a modern-day electronic toothbrush. It's incredible what they achieved with the technology of that decade. Question 20. We've reached the final question of the main round. Many elements on the periodic table have Latin roots, but which one is officially known as silicium? First, is it sulfur? Second, is it silicon? Third, could it be selenium? Or fourth, is it silver? The answer is silicon. While we call it silicon in English, many other languages like Russian, German, and French still use a variation of the original Latin name, silicium. It comes from the Latin word silex, which means flint or hard stone. It is the second most abundant element in the Earth's crust, making up about 27% of it. Without this element, we wouldn't have glass, concrete, or the computer chips that make modern life possible. You've made it to the very end, but only a true trivia master can answer the big bonus question. According to the Old English proverb, what should you never buy in a poke? First, a cat. Second, a rabbit. Third, a dog. Or fourth, a pig. Take a second to think. Write your guess in the comments right now. How many did you get right today? Write your score and your answer to the bonus question in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next quiz. Stay curious and have a great day. See you in the next quiz!